Okay, I welcome you all with love. And I'll start with a little prayer, which is about merging the heart and mind, which is so key today. Because the mind isn't modified by the heart, can get really out of control, which is what my talk today is going to be about. It's called the mindset. And the quote I'm going to start with is, life is only as good as your mindset. A negative mindset will never give a positive life. The world is as you see it. The world is as you believe it to be. This is a Vedic teaching. Very important. So what today's talk is about is how people creating a mindset is creating a lot of negativity. And I start, what got me interested in this is watching the women's basketball. I never watch basketball. I actually don't really watch sports much. I play football. I've been inducted in the National Football Hall of Fame, so it's not like I don't do sports and different things. But I really don't watch basketball, men's or women's. And in the last week or two or three, a lot of stuff is happening in the realm of women's basketball that is a very bad sign for our society. And that's what I'm going to talk about. So here we go, but first we'll do a little dancing, which merges the heart and the mind. When the mind is just operating, it's really easy to get out of balance and go negative. And so if the heart is just operating, we can have false compassion. So it's always a balance between the heart and the mind. As a Lakota Sioux Sundancer, 4-year Sundancer, Sitting Bull said it in a very nice way. He said, we have two wolves speaking, a good wolf and a bad wolf. And how you do in life has to do with which wolf you're going to listen to. Are you going to listen to the good wolves and elevate your life and life all around you? Or are you going to listen to the bad wolf and play that out and degenerate your life? So, now he didn't use that word degenerate, but to bring your life down, bring negativity into your life and into your surroundings. That's what I'm pointing to in a concrete example of the women's basketball, the pro women's basketball. So now let's do a little dance to merge the heart and the mind so there's a balance there. Okay? So, and when we dance, we get to be that dance. Okay. Again, I welcome you all with love. Put my little microphone on. Here we go. So I'm going to start with a little quote. Life is only as good as your mindset. A negative mindset will never give a positive life. The world is as you see it. The world is as you believe it to be. Now, this is really, really important to understand. That's the key to life. Things happen. We can interpret them in a variety of ways. The Chief Sitting Bull, Lakota Sioux, was part of my tradition as a Lakota sun dancer for 4 years. I said there's two wolves speaking to us, a good wolf and a bad wolf, one in each ear. How you do in your life depends on whether you listen to the good wolf or the bad wolf. He clearly understood that. Like, we have our tendencies. Are we going to go to listen to the good wolf and move in that way, or listen to the bad wolf and move in that way? This is the kind of choice, life is as good as your mindset, that our society is really facing. Now, I don't watch basketball much. I mean, I'm a National Football Hall of Fame kind of college football player. And so I did sports. I like sports, and I keep it up. But mostly my own stuff, push-ups and yoga and dance and so forth, like what we just did, which is very good for you. But I happened to see a headline going on about the women's basketball. Now, I have never seen a men's or a women's basketball game. And it just seemed a little crazy what people were talking about. What is going on here? And what I saw as I looked at it, I kind of studied for a day or two to see what does this mean for our society? So when we played football, I remember literally we were playing against, we were undefeated, last game of the season, they were undefeated, and their halfback, who was very, very good, came through the line and made a big hole. I was playing middle linebacker. I had a really clean tackle, and he just lay there. It's like, hey man, get up. I actually reached down, gave him my hand, and slowly pulled him up. And it was like, and actually patted him on the butt, because that's what you do in football. It's just like, that's a brotherly thing to do. But wait a second, he's on the opposite team. What am I doing? Well, the fact is, we're all one. We're all college guys playing football, and we're all in the same space, and we're trying, but it's a game. It's a game. And I actually wanted him to get up, because this is near the beginning of the game. It's like, hey, I can't knock out the key line, the chief linebacker, or the chief running back. Now, I'm not saying that when we do sports, we don't play as hard as we can. I mean, in reality, as a captain of an undefeated Amherst College football team, I actually did knock out one person a game. Fair, square, nothing illegal. In the 4 years, I only had one penalty, which is an offsides, because my reflexes are a little fast, and I watched the center's hand, and he kind of went as if he was going to snap the ball, but he didn't. But the point is, when I watched the women's basketball, they were actually really trying to hurt each other. It wasn't an accident. There was no accidents going there. It's really obvious to anyone that knows anything about sports and movement what they were doing. You know, the way they were attacking Caitlin Clark, or you know what somebody did to Sophie Cunningham. You know, kind of gave her a clothesline tackle while she's doing a layup. It's like it was blatant. The level of illegal contact. I mean, I was truly shocked. This is women's basketball, and they're acting like this? What does this mean? I mean, there was one place where one woman came up and Caitlin Carr wasn't looking, and she gave him a hip and knocked her down. It's like, play's over. What are you doing? So, seeing these women actually trying to hurt each other, and as I explored it, because I honestly had a hard time believing what I was seeing, I explored it, and it did appear that not only the opposing team, but her own coach and the bureaucracy of that were really trying to disempower her in a very significant way, even if it meant they lose the games. They're saying, are you kidding me? This is actually happening? And, the general trend is women are supposed to, are generally, as compared to men, are more compassionate, more thoughtful. And I'm seeing just the opposite. Okay? And it was like, what is going on? What has happened to people? And I noticed, as I saw some of the shorts, that she was Caitlin Clark was picked as one of the All-Stars, and they so mistreated her that she actually quit. Now, she's paying for a particular team, and the coach really set it up so she wouldn't do well. You take your best player and you kind of put him on the sideline and not have anybody pass to her, and you got the person who scored more points than Pete Maravich did in college. She broke the all-time record for men and women, and you have her kind of on the sideline. What? This is crazy. And so as I looked at that, because I don't want to talk about that part of it, I just saw they were listening to the bad wolf. They were willing to hurt themselves to diminish Caitlin Clark. It's like no compassion. I mean, just really mean-spirited, physical, an attempt at physical intimidation. Now, what I could see from all the shorts, Caitlin Clark held herself pretty well in holding the energy with that. So it was a good test for her in terms of passing. But the truth is, if you have your administrators, you have your head coach and other coaches, and some of the players being told, that's the other thing that began to come out, to give her a hard time, calling her an outsider. It's like, oh yeah. And the other thing is that about 60% of the women in the league are black. Caitlin Clark is white, and she's heterosexual. She's not a lesbian, which is another. She's a definite minority here, and it's like, and this is the way you treat minorities. And so as I began looking at that, I began thinking, this is a reflection on the American society. Have we so lost it that we can't even play a game of women's basketball without turning it into a vendetta and trying to hurt each other rather than being professional about it? It's not professional to try to hurt your opponent. It's professional to play hard, but we're not talking about playing hard. We're talking about the women's coach for Caitlin Clark's team, Indiana Fever, is describing how, well, the opponent who they tackled, in essence, Sophie Cunningham, or when they put a fist into Caitlin Clark's neck when she was down, hit her in the neck. Oh, they're just playing hard. No, that's not what was going on. How can you choose to be so deluded? Now, the fact is, they couldn't have been that deluded. They were making this activity on purpose. Okay? This could have been World War II for Jews in Germany. That's the kind of look it had. But it's modern America. It's 2026. It's women's basketball. And it's professional, and nobody's really acting in a particularly professional way. And I'm thinking, whew, this is a reflection on our society. And I've said that once or twice now. And I think a way to think about it, when we go to symbolism, is things have to get worse in our society before they rise up, or before, so people can actually reflect on what's going on. Like, this is what our society has created? This nonsense? And then time to turn it around. The prophecies are this kind of stuff will go on for a few years. It's kind of hard to see it being played out in such a gross way, and such in a sense, malevolent way, but that's what's going on. And it's like they conspired. They literally conspired. You could see on the line whenever Caitlin got the ball, her own coach would just like kind of freak out, and they, sports are interesting. You have to have tempo and play and so forth. When the things are moving fast and quick, which was what Caitlin Clark work does to really create a scoring type thing in a good tight team, it's a good thing. But the coach, had completely changed the game plan. It was slow and steady, and Caitlin Clark was on the edge. She wasn't the lead guard anymore, and it was like, what are you doing? So it was that gross. It was that overt. So what's the story? The story is that we as a society have to wake up. If this is what this looks like, this is a very bad reflection on the whole society. And so it's time for us to wake up and return to what I'm going to say, humanistic ways of treating each other, loving ways of treating each other, and in a sense, healing ways. So they say, the example of me playing football is like, okay, we beat them 21-6. I mean, that was 60 years ago, but my point is, I'm helping this guy up. I knocked him real hard. That's the game. But he was my enemy. I wasn't trying to hurt him. And that's why I gave him my hand and helped him up. And, in a good way. Not anything more than a sincere, hey man, we're all just playing football here. It's okay. So that's what's needed in our society, is we have to turn it around and come back to some kind of awareness that we're all here on planet Earth, and we're here to help each other and all of humanity to rise up to higher levels of consciousness. So may everyone be blessed in our everyday activities, whether we're playing basketball, football, or whatever we're doing, in a traffic jam, however it is, that we do our best to elevate consciousness in our interactions with all those around us. So peace be with you. Shalom, shalom, shalom. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om Takyasan. And kudos to Doug for setting this up.